Alright, hey, so if you saw my other video, I got this guitar and it has some issues out of the box. First of all, the frets are not polished, which is really not that big of an issue, and I understand in order to get a lower street price, you just cut back on some quality performance stuff, because in order to polish this, some guy had to be paid for the time, or girl, yes of course, somebody anyway had to be paid for the hours they invest on it, and that would probably drive the product price up. But I cannot help but noticing that the neck wasn't straight, and once I straightened it, I had some bad buzz that goes away when I press on the 4th fret. And that tells me that my 4th fret is either has a high spot, which needs to be filed down and recrowned, or since I'm not getting it everywhere, but I'm getting it when I'm bending, it's probably hasn't been hammered in correctly. Probably because they're like pressing these and then off to the next guy. The weird thing about this guitar is that on the side, the specs indicate that the neck is maple and the fretboard is PURPLEHEART. Now, PURPLEHEART is called PURPLEHEART because, much to everybody's surprise, it is purple, and this is black. Now, I've worked with PURPLEHEART because, I recently moved to Sweden. That's why I don't have my bench, and I have very limited tools. I have the basic stuff to set up a guitar, maybe do some fretwork, some electronic stuff, small tools. But I've been doing this thing, for like 15 years maybe, and I've built a few guitars. I've worked with PURPLEHEART, and PURPLEHEART is purple. At the very worst, if you do not put some varnish on it, I have noticed that it turns brown over time and it looks more like rosewood. Now this is black, and it could be an ebony fretboard, and because it has the looks of the ebony, but it has some chips on the wood which could indicate an ebony. It has some white streaks that I don't know why it has, and some open pores. I don't know, maybe the fretboard was it's not lacquered, it doesn't have any varnish on it, so it could just be super dry and it needs a good cleaning. But this is a new guitar. These things shouldn't really be generally. And the fret ends, they're not sharp, they're not, cutting me, but I can feel them, and they're not really very rounded. Again, overall, this is a very nice guitar. This is a very nice instrument. The tuning pegs seem hardcore, very good quality. The neck, the head piece also looks great. For those that haven't really played any mate finish guitar, be aware that the more you play and you touch the spot, the more shine it gets. So if I was to just rub it, put some elbow grease here, it could, be more shiny. But usually it goes like if you anchor your pinky, or your how's that thing called? That part of the arm that just rests on the armrest. Yeah. Okay, this would get more shiny. Now, these pickups are slanted. It means that they're not parallel and they're not rectangular. So this limits the options of replacing the pickups. And I'm really happy with the neck pickup. I'm not that happy with the bridge pickup, and I think I need to play a bit because it sounds a bit muddy. And but I haven't really done any adjustments. I just played it out of the box, so I'll give this a chance later on. But now what I need to do is verify if this is a poorly pressed fret or it just needs some filing. Now with the strings on, I have this amazingly special tool. This is brass, and it has a groove here. If you can see, this has a groove here that can fit the fret. So what is generally advised to do is put it, this is the 4th fret, so put it from the about the center, get a hammer that has one brass side and one plastic side. You can do either one of those. I usually do the plastic side. You need some neck support. I mean, I'm not hammering like with all my strength because I don't want it to chip the fretboard or break the thing. I just want it just to get a bit more in. So I don't gently tap it. I hammer it like a drummer, if you know, like a drummer doing the blast beat, like that, until it hits this part of the arm. What's called brachioradiale or something like that. Anyway, so this is the one. You heard it before. It just does this. So what I'm going to do is put it about in the middle, hammer once, hammer twice, and go towards the outside part and see what it does. It actually seems to have fixed the problem quite a bit. Let's just do one more hit. I hope I'm not busting you. I will try to edit it. Okay, so I'm happy with this. And we always need to make sure that it doesn't pop into another place. So again, from the center of it, this could be no, it's still the thing. Okay, so this might be because I over-strengthened the fretboard, and in a headless guitar, this is the truss rod adjustment, and you get your Allen wrench here. How do you check it? How do I check it? Usually, I press down on the last fret. This is the 24th. I press down on the 1st fret, and then around the 7th fret, it doesn't move at all. It's just so straight that it doesn't leave any room to breathe for the strings. So if I just really chug on that, it might cause some noise. So I usually just let it a bit looser around the middle part. How do I do this? Just loosen the truss rod naturally. Just uh, when you loosen the truss rod, you loosen the tension of the neck, and that increases the distance of the frets to the fretboard. So we need that some air for the string to vibrate and be free to vibrate. And you've noticed that it's just the middle string that slightly buzzes, which is really not a problem for me, but I really want this gone. That's because this fretboard has a radius. You know, imagine like a circle, and this is one, part of the circle. So the radius of that, and what is a radius for the people who are not familiar? If you want to draw a circle, you just put your compass, I think it's called, at the center point. You adjust the length of the compass, and then you go around that. This length is the radius. And when we're saying it's a 16-inch radius, it means that somebody put a dot here, measured 16 inches. I don't know how much 16 inches is in the size because I'm using metric, but based on that, they made a circle, and one part of the circle is the fretboard. So the highest point is in the middle, of course. And if the fretboard is dead straight, you may get some of these issues. You do not just remove material from the frets. So what I'm going to do is loosen the fretboard. And how to do this? There is the righty tighty, lefty loosey. So as you look down, this is the adjusting point. So as you're looking down to the adjusting point, which of course, if it had a spoke wheel here, then you would look up from there. This would be your right, this would be your left. Now, if I look down from here, this is left, this is right. So I'm doing a lefty-loosey. The adjustments that we usually make, if it's with the strings on, we can loosen it. If it's with the strings on, we can tighten it, of course, but we probably need to help it a bit. I'm not showing this now, but I will loosen it. That was it, just a quarter. Not even a quarter, that was half of a quarter. So I'm just checking, just pressing gently in the middle, checking again. Do you see now that I have a small wiggle room? I need a bit more. I'll just do a quarter. Press down a little bit to maybe help it a bit. Of course, we're going to check again the truss rod, but this actually fixed the issue. We'll check again the truss rod after I remove the strings, polish the frets, round the edges. I don't know if you guys want to say this, but I just made this video to show you that, okay, this is a factory guitar, it came from the factory, it has issues. I don't know if it's supposed to have issues and we accept this, or we just, I don't want to turn it back. It's more of a trouble for me to return it and get a new one, which may also have issues, because obviously quality check is not a strong point here. But as I said, overall I'm very happy with the quality of the material that's used, with the whole shape. It's really comfortable for my hand. I like the small body, I like the curves, it's really easy to play at any position, and really it's really easy for me just to remove the strings, do my thing, put it back together and bring it, to my taste and liking, but just heads up, be prepared. These are things that I believe that every guitar player that owns more than one guitar should learn how to do these minor setups, just fixes like that, or at least be able to recognize what the error might be, because if you could identify that there was a fret that was not pressed all the way in a specific spot, and you went to a luthier shop, they would charge you for their time. Maybe they would charge you for the space the guitar took up in their shop, the time they would spend on you. Even if it was half an hour, they may have an hour dedicated minimum pay, and that would be like maybe 50 euros, or I don't know where you are, just to look at it and do a few hammer-ons and be done with it. You should prepare for that. You should be able to communicate to your luthier what you are saying, even if you do not want to do it yourself, or if you want to save some bucks and maybe experiment on an old guitar or something, you could. This is really cheap. You can find it in the Chinese sites. They're cheap. These as well. You need to invest a bit more in a good file. And what I will be using for my dressing, fret dressing and polishing, it's these little guides that I have. These are for the more narrow frets up high in the neck. These are for the lower frets. I have my spare ones. I will use 270, 360. I will use this, which is it's a 320, but it's already used and it doesn't have that much of abrasiveness. I will use my 40 steel wool. All these could be like 10 euros, and I mean all the equipment could be like 50 euros, and you will have them for like forever. And if I needed to work on my frets or do something else, I have a really good fret file with a curve. I have a triangular file. I think they were from Crimson Guitars, maybe. And of course I have my fret rocker to check for high frets and high spots. I have a few tools. Really, you can get everything if you do your research for about 50 euros. I have bought my good stuff from Crimson Guitars and Guitars and Woods in Spain, and the cheap ones, from Temu, how you call it, and AliExpress. So yeah, I'm not going to bore you with having to see me remove the strings and I'm literally going to put a fret guard on the fret, scrub it, rub it with this, rub it with the other one, rub it with the third one, rub it with the fourth one, and it will be done. And then I have a needle file, needle triangular file. I will find it eventually, but it's like this, with polished corners, but a little smaller, and that's why I cannot find it right now. No. And I will just round the edges of the fretboards. This will all take me about an hour, maybe, to moisturize the fretboard as well with my lemon oil. You can use lemon oil in anything that doesn't have varnish on it. And even if this is PURPLEHEART, which is not, I don't know, maybe if Ola says this, just change the information inside. This is not PURPLEHEART. And after that, after it's ready, I will go back to the other video and make a proper, raw sound test, by playing a few stuff to give you a feel about, how the guitar sounds. But as I said, overall, out of the box, it's better than I expected and I would give it, you know, an 8 out of 10 for this guitar range. And of course I will play it and I will enjoy it. So if you do want to see stuff like that, just, you know, let me know. Maybe I will do some, but it's really everywhere on the internet. It's really boring to see me just going like that. It's yeah. But if you think that I can provide you with any other advice for you know, minor setup things you could do as a player at your own home, apparently, please let me know. I would be happy to share everything. So, see you.